Breastfeeding is about two people, you and your baby. Therefore, I want to talk about the nuances of ending breastfeeding for the baby and for the mother. It's the Mom Hack YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. So, the end of breastfeeding for a baby. You can stop breastfeeding the baby even in one day, but it will be very stressful. It will be difficult for your baby because breastfeeding is not just about food. This is also comfort and habit. Therefore, the easiest way for the baby is a gradual completion. What I mean, you should reduce the number of feedings gradually. First, reduce the number of daily feedings. Usually, breast milk is replaced with regular food, but this is possible only with long-term breastfeeding, at least 1 year. You should completely stop breastfeeding during daylight hours. Then gradually reduce the number of night feedings. If you stop breastfeeding gradually, the baby will have less stress. But I also had the experience of quickly stopping breastfeeding with an older child. In one day, I had to remove all feedings during the day, and a week later, I immediately stopped feeding at night. Keep in mind that the age of the baby is very important. If you finish breastfeeding before 1 year, you should replace your milk with infant formula. Usually, babies have a harder time when their mom stops feeding them at night, so make your life easier. Place a bottle of water, liquid porridge, or baby formula nearby. Pacifier if the child suckers it. And also, if there is an opportunity, let your husband, grandmother, or someone from your family help you. Sometimes there are cases when the baby just cries and wants only breast milk. Therefore, help will not be excessive. But usually, everything is not so terrible. Now let's talk about stopping breastfeeding for mom. There are two ways. The natural way. Pills. Let's talk in detail about the first method. When you finish breastfeeding, you should pump until you are relieved. That is, if your breasts are full, pump a little milk. The aim is not to empty your breasts completely, but enough to be comfortable. The more you pump, the more breast milk you will produce. If you get lumps, massage the lumps while pumping. I also recommend slightly reducing the fluid you drink for the first few days, but a little. Drink if you are thirsty. Drinking less will not stop your breast milk from being completely produced. Your goal is to gradually reduce the number of pumps. For example, the first day or two, you pumped every 2 hours. Then increase the intervals. Pump every 3 or 4 hours. The main thing is to listen to your body. If you feel discomfort, you need to pump. If the breasts are not full, pump later. If you pump infrequently, you will produce less milk. It may take several days to several weeks for breast milk to stop being produced. For example, with my older child, I had to pump for relief for almost a month. Use cold compresses if pumping does not provide relief or if the breasts are swollen. If you have mastitis, you may have to empty the breast entirely until this clears, then return to the plan. If this does not get better in 12 to 24 hours or you feel very ill, see your doctor, as you might need antibiotics. Now let's talk about pills. I'm against this method, but I have to tell you about it. Usually, moms think that this is a magic pill that will end breastfeeding instantly and easily, but it's not like that. You will still have to pump. This method is not easier than the natural method. Taking drugs such as Dostanex or Sudave to stop breast milk production works best for mothers who have not been breastfeeding for a long time. Now I will tell you why. Immediately after childbirth, the mother's body increases the amount of the hormone prolactin. The amount of prolactin in the mother's body is highest during the first 6 months after childbirth. Then this hormone gradually decreases. If you've been breastfeeding for a little over a year, your prolactin may be slightly higher than that of women who don't breastfeed. That is, the pill should reduce the amount of prolactin. It is effective only for those mothers who do not want to breastfeed in the first months after childbirth. If you've been nursing for a long time, it just doesn't make sense. So pills can't protect you from pumping or mastitis, but it can cause serious health problems. You can learn about side effects from the instructions. You can also read about the research on these pills. Therefore, I recommend not being afraid of the natural way of ending breastfeeding and stopping this process gradually.